My face, the swelling is going down so much that even these glasses are now too big for me. And the liars, I'll just call them the liars. It makes my life so much easier. The liars said, oh, your glasses were big, the other pair, because I had to wear something on my head to protect it for years while they were hitting me with something. And they claimed that it was stretched out because of that. No, it was because my face was swollen. And I'm going to show you. Look at that. My face was so swollen. And you've seen videos of me where these glasses fit. Now, these glasses would fall right off me. So I'm going to do a little bit of talking first. I'm trying to see if I'm on camera. And then I'm going to give you guys an idea of what's going on in my life. You know, at 49, I can look back on my life and say, this worked, that didn't work. And I have a whole list of things, lies that they talked about that I would like to tell you. I hope they don't cut me off. One of the things that worked for me during this time is not showering a lot. And I'm home, so it's not like I'm going out and then not showering. So they lied and said that when I used to go out, I didn't shower. That's a lie. It's very rare that I don't bathe or shower when I go out. I can't even remember the last time I went out without bathing or showering. I'm trying to tell the world this, that yes, I do have an eBay account and I would like to purchase from me. But if you don't think that I would send you something that is safe for you to use, or that if you think I have a problem with my hygiene or keeping myself or my home clean, then I wouldn't want you to purchase from me. I think there's an element of this tactic that they're using. I'm going to call this tactic subservience, where they want me to be subservient. They want me to feel like, oh, you know, I don't want to use like a joke. When I say this, I shouldn't joke. I'm not going to joke. But they want me to feel so grateful for any little thing someone does for me, as though I would want you to purchase from me just because, and not get the quality that you deserve. So they want me to feel like if someone does something for me, it's something like I have to be overly grateful. Of course, I would thank you for your support and I appreciate it. But there's also a part of me that as a business person wants to give you a good product. I don't want you just to buy from me because, you know, you feel sorry for me. I want you to buy from me and buy again. So I want to have an equal relationship with anyone who purchases from me. And that's why the tactic subservience matters, because they said I have to say may. So I can't just say, could you do such and such, or would you do that? I have to say, may you do this for me? May. So I'm supposed to be a subservient person. So part of why that matters is in developing these relationships with these people, I learned early that I'm not going to be seen as an equal to them ever. And they'll always want me to be in a subservient position where I have to feel like if someone does something for me, I should be like overly like, oh, you know, and that's what I'm telling you. And I want this to be such an honest channel where I tell you folks, I thank you for supporting me. I thank you for your purchases, but I'm not going to be a subservient person. And that's part of how they want me to feel. They said I was supposed to be like the mammy black person where I'm sort of like, oh, you know, so grateful for any little thing, and that I would owe them if they do something for me. I don't feel that that's how I've ever been. I doubt that I've ever been that way, but I definitely don't want to be that way now. And that's important to me. The other thing I wanted to tell you folks about before I get to the list is here's something that I have that is in my little crafting corner, and I'll show it to you, and I'll show you. I don't dust a lot, but my things aren't dusty. So here is what I want to show you. Now, I showed you guys how to make this, and you noticed it's not really dusty. I'm going to show you on camera. And that's my point. I think in my life, you know, this isn't dust. I think in my life, I reached a point, probably, I don't know when, where I can't be that phony person they want me to be. I have to be authentic. I have to be true to myself. And I have to be true to how I live. So this isn't the Swiffer. This is from the dollar store. They have like a pack of these, and it's really inexpensive. It's I think $1.25, and it includes multiple. So what I'm saying to you is, like, for example, I'll give you an example. They would see this and say, that's dirt. It's not dirt. It's something that came with this, whatchamacallit. What is that thing called? What is this thing called? You guys probably know. Candle. And that's my point. I can't live my life in a subservient way to them. So I'm going to go through the magazine now. So as I'm going through the magazine, I'm going to talk more about that feeling that they have. So they said they caught me masturbating. I'm going to tell you guys, coming up in this magazine is a whole thing on masturbation. So if you guys have kids in the room, you may want to have them leave the room, because there's going to be a whole thing on masturbation. Let me see if I can find it. I won't get to it right now, but sex tips for one. So they said I should be ashamed that I was masturbating. I'll talk to you guys about that later on. I don't want to jump topics. And if it gets cut off, then I'll talk about it in another video. So there's something in them that they don't want to see me as a full person. Then they said that I scraped tartar off my teeth with my fingernail. That came from a book called The Catcher in the Rye. And that's something the character did. Again, you know, they said I don't read, but then all of a sudden they have me quoting books. I don't know. They said that the converter box was how they first were able to spy on me when the television switched over from regular antenna to this digital. I don't know. Some of the things that they're telling me aren't true. So I know they weren't spying. But if we're talking about tartar and teeth, then I know, you know, this is ridiculous. So ring around the collar. I'm going to post a video in research I did already, where someone shows how to remove ring around the collar. I want to show you guys something. This is my shirt. I always put some sort of like oil in my hair. So I tend to get ring around the collar where it meets my hairline. I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, I think ring around the collar is pretty normal. I think there's ring around the collar here. Oh, here it is. So what I tend to do to remove it is when I put my shirt in the wash, I put the fabric, not the fabric, the detergent directly on the ring around the collar. And when I do that, it comes out. Somebody recommends dish detergent and, you know, different steps. I have it in my research playlist. So if you want to see that tip, I put the video there. But that's something that always happens to me. I have hair oils and it makes me have ring around the collar. I don't think it's a big deal. It's not something that I would worry about. They said, oh, I wore a dress similar to this. Not exactly with this keyhole, but very similar to this to a wedding. And they said that was highly inappropriate. Then they said I wore a red dress to a wedding, and that was highly inappropriate. The red dress I wore was sleeveless, so I wore something over it, which was a sweater. So it wasn't a red dress. It was like black sweater on top of a red dress. But again, I didn't know these types of things were inappropriate for weddings. This would have been like, I don't know, 20-something years ago. But again, they hold grudges. So my point in all of this is to say, I don't understand why people who dislike me went through so much time and money to try to clone me. In trying to surveil me, they made me incredibly sick. And I'm very sick, unfortunately, and I don't like to shower too much because I get a little lightheaded and I don't feel well. So if that's a problem for people, don't leave me a comment because I'm not interested. I'm not going to keep bathing and taking showers. I try to wipe down like a lot of people. When I was in the hospital, they didn't recommend a shower. They, you know, said I could wipe down. And that's my point. I'm not going to be subservient. I never was, you know. That's part of why this doesn't work. So I think what this is about is creating shame. Shame about my body, me loving my body. I got to admit, I do love my body. You know, they said years ago, I used to walk around with these like little tops that were half tops because I loved my stomach. Yeah, I did. They said, you know, I used to enjoy being nude. Yeah. Unfortunately, because of them, I don't now, but I used to. So I love my body. And I think that that's part of why they wanted to shame me over my body. And that's the big deal. You know, when they meet a woman who enjoys her body, enjoys her life, they have to find ways to shame you or shame me out of it. And they said, oh, I switched to you because I know I'm not the only victim. But they wanted to find a way to shame me out of my love of myself. And that was the intention behind all this. So I'm telling you guys how I feel about things. I think that was another big deal. They said that I falsely accused someone in high school of doing something that she actually did. No, I didn't falsely accuse her. She was busted. That was the other point. They said that I wasn't supposed to remember the truth because this whole system, they said they used 30 years ago on me. I'm telling you for a fact that it could not have been used on me 30 years ago. A, because most of it did not exist 30 years ago. And B, because it makes me incredibly sick. Every single day they're trying to expose me to radiation, hit me in the head with things. And that's my point. There's something about these people that they felt they're superior to me, that there's a hierarchy. They explicitly said that they feel there's a hierarchy, and they said I'm at the bottom. So in talking to me, they said that, no, I'm not at the bottom. Black women are not at the bottom. Black men are at the bottom. No, I don't think that black men are at the bottom of the hierarchy either. They said that they accused me of saying something about black men that I didn't say because that's how they feel. And that's my point. I said I'm not at the bottom of any hierarchy. And part of why I can say